Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, powered by Visa and Norton, two brands that protect you. In fact, we'll get to that a little bit later on. But hey, this is the first new show of 2026, and so I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season, and cheers to an extraordinary year ahead to all of you. Thank you for tuning into the program. This first Tech It Out show back is also a big one, as I'm here in Las Vegas for the annual Consumer Electronics Show, now simply referred to as CES, where all the big tech products make its initial debut. It was a wild show with robots and self-driving cars, innovative laptops, giant TVs that were also ridiculously thin, and of course, AI everything. And so all the interviews today are about highlights from CES. We're going to kick things off with LG. Also on the show today, Lenovo. We'll have a tech analyst, Avi Greengart, join us for his top picks, and digital lifestyle expert Mario Armstrong. I'll also share some highlights that I talked about on TV this past week as well. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out CES edition. All right, let's kick things off. Well, LG Electronics had another spectacular showing at CES this year. Of course, this is the annual Consumer Electronics Show, or that's what it used to be called, now just simply CES. It's held every January in Las Vegas, where I'm recording this right now, to tell us all about the return of LG's iconic wallpaper TV and robots, by the way. Back on the program, we've got Gilles Pereira, Senior Go-To Market Manager at the company. Welcome back to the show, Gilles. Hope you're having a great CES so far.
Hey, Mark. Thanks for having me back. It's been great. Busy as always, which is great to see all the people flooding through the show floor and in our LG booth. It's been really exciting so far. Thanks for having me.
You have such a presence here that you're in multiple locations, because I was at the LG booth in Central Hall yesterday, but I know you're also at the Fontainebleau for some one-on-one demos and all that. So congrats on a great showing, as I mentioned off the top. Before we get into specific products, is there an overall or pervasive theme for LG at CES this year?
Yes, definitely. So for 2026, we're building on previous years where we're looking at innovation in tune with you. So we've gone to market with this AI technology in the past. LG specifically does something more in tune with the everyday impact that the customer has. So the affectionate impact of AI and how that stays in tune with the person, whether it's at home in the morning, when they're getting ready for work, on the ride to work, in the car, at work with your various tech devices and internet connected devices. And then obviously when you're at home, kind of relaxing and unwinding to end your day, whether it's watching TV or cooking and whatnot. So that philosophy is really applied in an interconnected way more than ever. And that's really setting up our future look of a labor-free home. So that's where we get into the exotic robot conversation later on in the chat.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Cloyd in a moment. But yes, so you mentioned kicking back after a day of work and watching TV. We must start with the wallpaper TV. Please tell us about it.
Yeah, super exciting and very impressive reintroduction of wallpaper. Everyone that has seen it so far has been absolutely jaw-dropped with the picture quality, the form factor. So essentially what makes it special in our lineup is that the depth of the screen from the wall to the front of the screen is actually less than 10 millimeters. So it's a single digit 9 millimeter depth screen. So it's super, super slim. The slimmest TV we've launched with the power supply built into the TV. And that's unique. The first wallpaper was so thin that we didn't even have speakers in the TV. That's how thin it was. So we've evolved the technology to be able to give you the important basics like the speakers, power supply, but we've actually evolved the technology now to have all of the HDMIs, the USB inputs and all that in a separate, what we're calling a zero connect box.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about that. So on one hand, as the name suggests, wallpaper TV is so thin, like 9 millimeters and change, that you can hang on your wall. But this zero connect box, which I know you have on some of your other models as well. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's really our solution to make the TV placement a little bit more flexible in the home. So it doesn't have to go where let's say where the contractor kind of plugged in the now ancient coax cable into the house and whatnot. So it allows for a way more flexibility. So basically you can put the TV anywhere in the house. And that box, which is now actually around 35% smaller and lighter and refinished with a bit more of an interior design focus. So it has like a brushed wood look to it. So that allows you to basically freely access the ports on the TV without having to manually handle the TV. So it's a little bit more robust and versatile. So you can, if you're inputting your gaming consoles, your Blu-ray player, or any of your connected devices, you can do so a little bit more freely without having to handle the TV. And you could do that up to 40 feet away. We still recommend line of sight, but we could actually put that into a shelf depending on the material. So if it's a wood that's within a certain depth, you could actually put that into a shelving unit without having it in view as well.
So cool. All right. So you connect all your devices across the room and it'll wirelessly beam that 4K video and audio to the TV. So you've got more of a minimalist look. There's the only cable coming out of the TV is that goes into the wall for power. That's it.
Yeah,
and you can hide that as well these days. Yeah. Awesome. All right. And then before we move on to robots, let's hear about other LG TVs. Perhaps we can chat for a moment about the RGB lineup, like what that's all about, that phrase, that acronym we've been hearing a lot about this show.
Yeah. So definitely a showstopper. It's the best looking non-OLED TV I've ever seen. It's a bit techy, but if you look at LED TVs, how they've evolved over the last, let's call it 5 to 10 years, the introduction of a blue LED backlight, that was really the big step forward a few years ago. That brought brightness improvement as well as color. So the total number of colors that can be presented on the screen increased. So this is really where that next step is. So obviously the primary colors being red, green, and blue. Now there's a red, green, and blue LED on the color pixel. Mm-hmm. So what that allows is way more brightness as well. But now the amount of colors that are able to be reproduced have actually skyrocketed past what current standards are and have gone up to 100% of what a color map that we refer to as BT 2020, which is way past what current, even Hollywood standards would be. So the color reproduction and brightness of these TVs is next to none.
Yeah.
So they're absolutely stunning and definitely a must see.
Speaking of brightness, on the wallpaper TV, and the model number, by the way, is the LG OLED Evo W6. That is also said to be almost 4 times brighter than conventional OLEDs, which is pretty wild. Is that right, Gilles?
Yeah, so it's up to 4 times brighter than our entry-level OLED. A big part of that is our patented tandem OLED, which is made by LG Display. But basically what you're getting is a very bright improvement using what we're calling hyper-radiant. So that will be the technology that you'll see on the W6 as well as our G6 OLED in 2026. Specifically color brightness. So the picture will look absolutely stunning, very vivid and very immersive.
And then I wanted to also have you on the program to talk to us about the cute little Cloyd. That is, I would say, the star of CES this year. What is Cloyd?
Yeah, so this is kind of something that's been happening it's been in the making. And if you've looked at every CES, leading to a future vision that LG has of a labor-free home, where we're kind of interconnecting all of these devices that really have manifested in this autonomous humanoid robot that we're calling Cloyd, which is essentially a series of sensors, cameras, and actuators. So it actually is moving around on actuator wheels and the joints, let's say, in the arms, and the ability to reach. And essentially what that's going to be able to do in the future is replace repetitive tasks in the home that are taking up a lot of valuable time, that are keeping people from doing what they want to be doing more often, right? So those special moments that you want more of and the time that you want to do those moments will be freed with the implementation of these robots that can do things like fold clothes, fill the laundry, fill the washing machine with those clothes, or even check on the food and other autonomous tasks that can basically free you to do more of what you want to be doing.
Awesome. All right. So Cloyd is this robot that at CES was showing how it can put dishes in the dishwasher or fold clothes. Is this conceptual, or is this something we really will see in our homes?
Yeah, fair point. So I would say at this point, it's definitely demonstrating what's possible in robotics. At this juncture, I would say it's more in concept, but definitely we've seen leaps and bounds from previous years where it was way more almost sci-fi, where this is a lot more practical implementation of our affectionate intelligence. And we could really start to see the forest for the trees, so to speak, in terms of like how this will actually impact our day-to-day lives in the near future.
Awesome. Gilles, always great to chat with you. And I hope you continue to have an amazing CES, 2026 CES. And congrats on an amazing booth, or booths, plural, from LG. All the best. Thanks again.
Thank you so much, Mark. Thanks for having me.
We cover cybersecurity a lot on this program and how you can best protect yourself in the digital age, even if you're not super tech savvy. One part of the solution is securely shopping online. And so I'm thrilled about my partnership with Visa on Tech It Out, as they've made some significant investments in fraud prevention over the past 5 years, as much as $10 billion. Yes, that's billion with a B, to support Visa's brand promise to protect the financial information of individuals and businesses. Zero liability means peace of mind when you shop online using your Visa card. There can be no half measures when it comes to cybersecurity, which is why the company takes an aggressive and multi-layered approach to combating the rising threat of malicious software and other threats by well-funded and global criminal enterprises. Read more about Visa and how securing the world's payments is priority one at visa.com/security. That's visa.com/security. When we return on Tech It Out, analyst Avi Greengart gives me his take on the best of CES. We'll be right back.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts. Welcome back to Tech It Out. Always great to run into Avi Greengart. He is, of course, an analyst, head of Techsponential. Great to see you. How's your CES so far, Avi? And you're still standing, which is good news.
I'm barely standing. It's been brutal.
Running on fumes.
It's been brutal on my feet, that is for sure. The show has been fantastic. Seen a lot of interesting things, especially in unmarked Venetian suites and Wynn suites rather than on the show floor. The backdrop of the show is actually a bit of how are we going to sell all this stuff we just announced without having access to memory, given that all the memory is going to AI data centers. So that is sort of the subtext, but on the surface, amazing new displays. You've got LG's OLEDs have gotten even better, and even if you bought one last year, if you're a fanatic about image quality, you could probably convince yourself that you need to upgrade.
I love the W6 wallpaper, the return of the wallpaper TV, 9 millimeters thin. Did you see that? It was pretty wild.
I did see that. The one that impressed me most, though, was the slightly more mainstream, though still expensive, G6, which is their. It includes an on-wall mount that is also pretty slim, not quite as slim as the W, but the image quality there is very, very impressive.
And does that also support the Zero Connect box, where you connect all your components to a box somewhere else in the room, and then it wirelessly transmits the video and audio to the TV? Because some of the LG TVs have that feature, so you have more of a minimalist look. All you need is a plug for the wall for the TV, and that's it. That's all you see on the wall.
That's correct, and that's why I said it's on the pricey side, because it does support that. Lenovo is showing off concept laptops that are kind of mind-blowing, and the most amazing part about them is not just that some of them expand vertically. They now have one that expands horizontally, which is amazing for gamers and probably also finance pros. But
it turns like a 16-inch laptop into a 24-inch one with a push of a button or by using a voice command. That's pretty wild. Yeah, that's the Legion Pro rollable concept.
Yeah, and the amazing thing about laptops from concepts from Lenovo is they actually bring them to market most of the time. This is more of a prototype than a concept, so we'll see if or when they do. But the last time they showed off a concept laptop that with a rolling display, it turned into a real product. I have it, I use it, it's great, it's expensive, but it's not a gimmick. It raises the middle of the screen so that your neck doesn't hurt because you're looking straight instead of down. You can use it for having more information on screen, for coding, or for writing, or for watching vertical video. You can spend spend way too much time watching Reels and TikTok on it. So that one was impressive. Lenovo's Motorola brand is getting into bigger foldables now. There were laptops from literally everybody because there are new chips coming from Intel, AMD, and Qualcomm. And Intel's chips, for the first time in a long time, look really competitive.
Yeah, the Ultra Core 3s, previously known as Panther Lake in the tech community. Yeah, they look pretty sweet, up to 50% more graphical capabilities, and surprisingly better power management. You would think with all this extra power that it would eat up more battery life, but they said that they've been able to crack that code up to 27 hours, which doesn't quite top Qualcomm's 32 or so hours, but impressive nonetheless.
Yeah, I was very impressed with what I've seen so far, and I can't wait to get in some systems to benchmark them. Qualcomm, you just mentioned, they have a mid-tier version of their X2 Snapdragon chip for PCs, and so that brings some of that performance and battery life to lower price points. So I'm looking forward to getting some of those in as well. And AMD had both consumer products, chips that are better for gaming, and lots of enterprise data center type stuff that they were talking about here at the show.
Not much from NVIDIA here, I think, other than some automotive announcements, but not really much in the graphics, for gamers. Is that fair? And what about robots? People always say to me, because they know this show, it always makes the news. It's robots walking around. Did you see anything there?
So, yeah, first of all, NVIDIA did have a big display over at Fontainebleau, and they had a huge keynote, but mostly it really was enterprise or data center oriented, nothing really new for gamers, at least not in the short term. Robots are great. They look great visually when you're shooting B-roll and you're watching coverage of the show. And there were a lot of them here. None of them seemed all that useful, but I did see a bunch that looked like they'd be fun companions to play with, sort of substitute pets.
I saw Tombot, which it looks like a 10-week-old lab that you never have to feed or walk or clean up after. And that is meant as a companion pet, if you will, for both kids. They said it was also for those with special needs, as well as for aging adults. They've been testing them in long-term care facilities. Really cute. I don't know if you saw that one. There's a Panda Bot as well.
I did see some of those. The use case for senior care, where they're actually, you're not buying it, you're actually renting it, because they have clinical data that shows depression rates are lower when you have one of these pets, and particularly when you're looking at some seniors or dementia patients, they can't have a real live pet because they can't care for it.
Awesome. Avi, great to chat with you as always. Avi Greengart from Techsponential. What's the best website for our listeners to check out your work?
Techsponential.com.
All right, that's easy. Safe travels back home.
Thank you very much.
I chat with Lenovo next here at the 2026 CES in Las Vegas to hear about its innovative laptops. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out CES edition. I'd like to play an interview I recorded at the Venetian a couple of hours ago, sitting with Lenovo's Brent Lamb, worldwide senior product manager for ThinkPad.
Thanks so much for your time today, Brent.
Thank you for having me. Great to talk to you.
How's your show so far? You still got a voice?
I do still have a voice. It's been a struggle, but I mean, we have amazing things to talk about, so I have to find a way to keep my voice going.
And Lenovo always has a stellar showing at CES. I wrote about it this week in a few different publications. Talk to us about your experience here at the show and what attendees are loving.
So, yeah, I mean, from a overall Lenovo standpoint, we really have something from everybody, from consumer to commercial and everything in between. We talk about pocket to cloud. So literally, whether it's phones with Motorola's, Idea pads, our yoga lines. I specifically work in the commercial world. So I'm the ThinkPad guy. So, we've got some amazing products across the board that obviously we're making a lot of, advances around AI, and that's obviously our big ticket, but we also have to make a lot of advances in hardware as well. And so people love that balance. What are we doing from the software AI world, our new announcements around Kira, our new AI application that's going to be a cross-device application to try to improve efficiency and everybody's overall end user experience. People also love to see new hardware.
Yeah, and this is what I was floored by, was some of the innovation that Lenovo has here. Some of it may be conceptual, but talk to us about some of the laptops that, for example, rollable laptops. I think there's a couple.
Yeah, so rollable is something that we've been evolving over the past few years. It really kind of started probably 4 or 5 years ago with our X1 Fold series. And then we took that technology of actually having a screen that you can fold, manipulate. When we've done a couple of different proof of concepts that, some have come to market fully and some are still in that proof of concept, but it shows our willingness to innovate, not be stagnant, come out with something new, get customer feedback. Everything that we do at Lenovo is based on end user experience and customer feedback. And so we want to put out these proof of concepts and really get the feedback and see where we need to do we need to change course and reiterate into something else, or are we on the right path and keep going? But innovation is part of one of our core tenets.
Because this is radio or a podcast, can you verbally describe what these rollable laptops look like, the ones that were unveiled this week?
Yeah, so one of the ones that we have, proof of concept in the commercial segment, is a personal computer that has a screen that extends up. With the push of a button, it can, extend up. You can also verbally tell it to extend up. You have little motion sensors on the top of the bar. But interesting on this device, the screen actually rolls over to the back side. So think about like the top cover of a device. So when you have the device closed and you're walking around, you actually have a usable screen on the top of your PC. So you can get meeting updates. You can get a text message. You can get a Teams chat, something like that to let you know that you have a meeting in a few minutes. You can look at the weather, what's going on outside if you're in an office or at home. It provides you a working surface, much like instead of having to reach in and grab your phone to find out what's going on, you can look at the top of your closed laptop and you have a working surface right there.
All right. So it looks at first glance like a 13-inch laptop, but then using your voice or a push of a button, the screen can extend upwards vertically.
Correct.
To about 16 inches.
And it actually wraps around the top. So it's not, going away. You actually have that full usable, and then it extends over the top, so the top cover of the device as well.
And I like that you can get notifications and other info when the lid is closed.
Correct.
Just for convenience sake. I also know that there's a partnership between Lenovo and FIFA, big year this year, some of the branding. And I even saw one of the touchpads on the laptops looks like a pitch. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun with that. We are the official technology partner of FIFA and the World Cup for 2026. And because we have such a massive presence worldwide with our technology and our hardware, we decided it would be fun to come out with some limited release products across our entire portfolio from consumer into commercial. And even, if ThinkPad loyalists out there know about the track point on the middle of the keyboard, we actually even designed a little soccer ball track point that you can replace it to have it. But it kind of shows, when you first open up the device and boot it up the first time, there's going to be a nice Lenovo FIFA wallpaper on the device. We have those little pitch stickers that you'll see that are, in different colors for each one of the devices. And then some of the devices on the top cover have a very smooth laser etched 26 and a little trophy to represent the 26 World Cup. So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome. We are chatting with Brent Lamb from Lenovo here at CES. We found the quietest pocket possible at a very busy Lenovo booth at the Venetian, or restaurant that you took over, as you do every year. Just one last question. If I had to press you on what you think is the product of the show from Lenovo's standpoint.
It kind of also goes along with the rollable. So we have a new Legion laptop that has a screen that lives in the same rollable, flexible screen technology, but it actually goes horizontal instead of going vertical. And a lot of people, and this is something that we will probably investigate on the commercial side as well, as people want more space.
It's like having two monitors.
Exactly. And, two monitors in one. And again, Lenovo with innovation, every different division is looking at trying to innovate. We all work together. It's, one Lenovo mentality, and then we'll see what works and what the feedback is from the Legion. Is that something that we also need to adopt on the commercial side? But that screen has been the one thing that has really jumped out to me, and I've seen a lot of people gravitate towards that. Yeah. I'm partial to ThinkPad, and I love what we've done on our products that were announced here. That's a pretty cool Legion screen.
It is indeed. You also have Legion Go now with SteamOS, which is great. So there's a lot on the gaming front. Legion is, of course, Lenovo's sub-brand for gamers. Thanks so much for your time. I hope you have a great rest of your show. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you so much. It was great talking to you.
Hey, we have a lot more Tech It Out coming up, including more content from the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, where I'm recording this right now. But I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Norton. In today's connected world, a simple antivirus just isn't enough. Your identity, your finances, and your privacy are all on the line. That's why you need Norton 360 with LifeLock, the comprehensive solution that bundles device security and identity theft protection. Tech It Out has proudly partnered with Norton as they protect your PC, Mac, and mobile devices from things like malware, malicious software. But LifeLock takes it a step further, constantly monitoring for the fraudulent use of your personal info, from your social security number to your bank accounts. Visit norton.com/techitout for a deal on Norton software. That's norton.com/techitout. When we return on the program, digital lifestyle expert Mario Armstrong shares his top picks from CES.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
CES 2026 is, of course, the world's largest tech event and is taking place in Las Vegas right now, where I am for the next few days as well. And of course, one of my favorite tech experts is here for the festivities too. I'm referring to none other than Mario Armstrong, digital lifestyle expert, who's joining me live right now from another location here at this massive convention to give us the scoop on some of the hot tech trends coming our way. Hey, Mario, good to chat with you. And I wish we were side by side as we've done those TV interviews before, but hope you're having a great show so far.
Great show so far, and good to hear your voice. Happy New Year to you and to everybody. And you're right, it's like 43 football fields of technology that the two of us are out here trying to cover with like 4,000 exhibitors and 2.5 million square feet of space. So I did team up with a few brands that I found some great products that are really good, some fun stuff here at CES.
Okay, awesome. So where do you want to start?
Well, let's start with some of the brands I teamed up with, like LG. LG's got this Ultra Gear Evo AI. Now, this is for gamers, so the gamers listen up, because this is all about 5K AI upscaling technology, which is going to sharpen those details so you have that ultra smooth performance. You're going to analyze and be able to enhance content in real time because they're using AI scene optimization and AI sound, which really just adds to a more immersive experience. So that's one. And then something else from LG, I had to go look for robots. So I found Robot Cloyd, which is connected through LG's ThinQ. It uses cameras, sensors, and articulated arms. It handles basic chores, learn routines, proactively helping to make everyday life easier and more efficient. This is the Jetsons.
At their event, they were showing Cloyd folding laundry and like loading the dishwasher and stuff. That's pretty awesome. So Rosie the robot is around the corner. So that's Cloyd from LG. Love it. And a gaming monitor as well. And you have something from Honeywell Home, right? A legacy brand that is keeping up with the times.
It is a legacy brand. They've been around for decades, and the Honeywell Home X8S, it's the only thermostat in the US and Canada that can stream live video from multiple doorbell brands. So from First Alert and Ring, you can see and talk to visitors right on its 5-inch touchscreen, which is great. But it also does things like tracks indoor quality, your HVAC performance. It'll send you any issues or alerts to your phone. And then it has these customizable idle screens. I mean, it's a thermostat. It's in your house, so it may as well do something while it's sitting there. So it can show weather forecasts, but it also has design themes that you can choose from if you really are into your fashion and decor of your house.
Yeah. All right, now let's pivot and talk personal tech, Mario.
It's always going to be sound for me, man. I love listening to podcasts, watching video, checking out YouTube. So for me, turning heads in audio is the new JBL Sound Gear Clips. These are clip-ons. These are open ear headphones, so they don't cover your ear canal, which is great because you can hear your surroundings. But they clip on just like a fashion accessory. They got multiple accents, different colors, bold options, and they're really meant to be seen and heard. Like you clip them on alongside your earrings or sunglasses if you're into fashion and you want to be stylish.
Open ear earbuds are very popular now, so safer for pedestrians and cyclists.
Man, it's the safest way to be able to still be able to, listen to what you want to listen to, but still be aware of what's going on. And then also making waves kind of in the homes as well, but more for our teeth, is Life-In Wave Pro. Now, the Life-In, L-I-F-E-I-N Wave Pro, it's the world's first toothbrush that combines oscillation and vibration, which basically gives you like pro cleaning at home. Pro level cleaning, I should say. It delivers 66,000 vibrations per minute. It's got a built-in pressure sensor that vibrates or lights up if you brush too hard. My dentist is always telling me I brush too hard, which is not good for my gum lines.
And your enamel. Yeah, I've been told that too.
Yeah, so you can choose from daily or deep clean modes to personalize your routine, which is really great. And then I love that you can actually get brushing reports via their app. I've never had a brushing report, so I'm looking forward to getting that.
Why don't we now end off, Mario? We are chatting with Mario Armstrong, digital lifestyle expert, who's also at the 2026 CES, as I am, in Las Vegas. Why don't we end off with 2 more innovations that got your attention?
Okay, real quick, let's jump over to the Roborock Ceros 20. Now, this is a smart vacuum, and I know you've heard of smart vacuums before, but this one uses AI to scan and interpret your space in real time, and it maps over 200 household objects to automatically choose the best cleaning strategy. What I really like, though, is what's really unique is that it even adjusts its own height automatically. So if you got to go from one floor surface to a different type,
or climb onto a carpet.
Yes, and then it can drop down and lower itself for stronger suction on hard floors and carpets. And then finally, laptops. So Asus has the ZenBook A series out here. They have the ZenBook A16, which is a 16-inch OLED display, and they have the A14, which has incredible battery life. We're talking more than 30 hours. Both of them weigh under 3 pounds, and they feature the Asus Sera aluminum finish, which means it's scratch and smudge resistant, which is really nice. And of course, it's got AI power performance in there as well to try to make your tasks a little bit less effortless.
All right, so some awesome innovations from Roborock and Asus, Life-In, JBL, Honeywell Home, and LG. Love it. Is there a place, Mario, where our listeners can see some of these products that you're showing this week on TV? Is there a website?
Yeah, that'd be great for them to go and check it out. Go to bestofces.com. That's bestofces.com. If you want to see what I'm seeing on the show floor, then go to my Instagram at Mario Armstrong. Hopefully you'll see a selfie of Mark and I.
Fingers crossed, buddy. That would make my show. Have a fantastic rest of your CES. Thanks so much for carving out some time to chat.
I appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of your day, and I'm looking forward to your coverage as well, man. You got a lot going on.
All right, when we return on Tech It Out, I'll share a few of my highlights from the 2026 CES. I was on TV a bunch of times last week from Vegas, chatting about highlights from the convention. So I'll share mine, including a dual screen laptop, what Intel had cooking up at the show, a new processor, very exciting stuff, some smart home gear, a high-tech GPS dog collar that creates an invisible fence for your furry friend, and a lot more. So stick with us. More Tech It Out coming right up. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. We'll be right back to continue the CES edition of Tech It Out.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
So as I mentioned earlier in the show, I had a blast here at CES 2026, and that included 2 days of interviews on TV where I got to show some of the hottest tech here at the 2026 Consumer Electronics Show. And so I wanted to share some of those highlights with you if you didn't catch any of that on your favorite morning show. So where to start? Imagine having a full 2-monitor office setup that you can carry in one hand anywhere. I'm referring to the 2026 Asus ZenBook Duo. It features 2 14-inch screens together into one mobile workspace. And these are stunning 3K Lumina OLED touchscreens, no less, that make colors pop. So you can keep a project pinned on the top screen while managing email or video calls on the bottom. So you don't need to switch between windows or apps and get more done in less time. The OLED screens can also turn any movie into a private theater experience and with impressive audio. Other features include the latest AI-powered Intel processor, which I'll tell you more about in a moment, long battery life, and on the exterior, a super tough ceramic finish called Ceraluminum. Asus.com has more on the Asus ZenBook Duo 2026 edition. Speaking of laptops, Intel is garnering a ton of buzz here at the show over its Core Ultra 3 processor, previously codenamed Panther Lake. It puts the AI inside the PC itself, so moving AI from the cloud to the computer to help with tasks like real-time language translation, photo and video enhancements, and writing assistance, to name a few, with better responsiveness and better privacy, since you don't have to be connected to the internet or share your content with external AI agents. The new processor's graphical capabilities are up to 50% faster than before for games and 4K video editing, while amazingly, these powerful processors consume less energy, which results in much longer battery life. Head over to Intel's website for more on that. Next up, TP-Link had an amazing booth here at CES, and they were showing some smart home tech, including the Tapo C645D kit. It's a solar-powered dual-lens outdoor security camera system designed to keep an eye on large areas. It features a fixed 2K ultra-wide 165-degree lens and a 2K pan and tilt telephoto lens, which work in sync to provide panoramic coverage and detailed zoom for smart tracking of people, pets, and vehicles, and without requiring a subscription. This IP65 weather-resistant outdoor camera works with a companion app, so you can see what's going on outside your home even when you're not there. There's 2 night vision modes, full color with spotlights, or an infrared option that works in complete darkness. And get this, 1 hour of sunlight powers the camera for a full day, while the 10,000 milliamp battery lasts for up to 4 months. TP-Link.com has more. Gaming is also huge here at CES. Lenovo had several innovative computers, but gamers on the go will love the new and updated Legion Go, now powered by SteamOS. So you get the performance you want with the AMD Ryzen Z2 Extreme processor, up to 32 gigs of RAM and up to 2 terabytes of storage, but also the freedom and game access of the Steam operating system. So it delivers a desktop-like experience in your hands. Speaking of which, it houses a gorgeous 8.8-inch OLED display nestled between 2 console-like controllers. But you can also connect this to a monitor or big screen TV if you like, and remove the controllers on each end to play with your feet up on the coffee table, if you're allowed to do that in your home. Visit Lenovo.com for more on the Legion Go with SteamOS. Speaking of fast storage, SanDisk unveiled its new internal drive brand here at CES called Optimus. Gamers are gushing about this because it's high-performance solid-state drives for gamers, creators, and professionals alike. For example, the SanDisk Optimus GX7100M is a solid-state drive that's perfect for handheld gaming consoles and laptops with really fast speeds. Forgive the geek speak, but it's up to 7,250 megabits per second. So really fast to keep up with those demanding games. The drives go up to 2 terabytes, so you don't have to uninstall games you still want to play, just to install new ones, which I really like. Expect the new SanDisk Optimus branding to roll out the first half of 2026. And one more to leave you off with, especially for dog lovers. It's called the Spot On GPS Fence Nova Edition, which is a wireless dog fence built into a collar. It allows owners to create customized virtual containment anywhere, from large acreage farms while traveling on vacation, at home, or in wooded terrain. In the off chance your furry friend breaches the invisible perimeter, you can track their whereabouts to retrieve them. Spot On's Nova Edition is packed with a dual-band, dual-feed GPS antenna and receiver to pull in more and higher quality satellites for far better location accuracy. battery. It's up to 8 times more accurate, in fact. Spot On GPS Fence Nova Edition helps dog owners protect their pets without needing to bury wires or deal with HOA restrictions on physical fences. SpotOnFence.com has more. Well, there you have it, a look at some great gear debuting first here at the 2026 Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas. Hey, I hope you all enjoyed this CES edition of Tech It Out, our first show from 2026. If you want to reach out on social media to say hi, it's Mark Saltzman, Mark with a C, SALTZMAN. You can find me on all the big social media platforms. I'm wishing you a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another brand new episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now. Ciao.